So the final tip would be authentic when you do dawah. So the Prophet ﷺ, if you think about him, he used to call people to Allah. First of all, you have to have good knowledge about what on earth Islam is and what's the point. I would say a really good start would be to learn about the names of Allah in depth. The virtualmosque.com, they have amazing articles. They actually have a book freely available, PDF file, that you can also download. And they just have amazing articles because they explain the meaning of the name and then how you should live by that name. Internalizing those values is so important, so when you do your dawah work you can implement that as well, and becoming that kind of a Muslim that other people can look up to, really. Because if you think about the Prophet ﷺ, he used to call people to the right path, but he also used to represent that path. He used to behave in such a way, he used to be truthful, he used to be very kind, he used to be respectful. If you want to spread Islam, you should spread it in the right way. So being someone who represents really good values and then calling people to good values is so much more effective than, for example, like if I started preaching about going boxing when I don't go boxing myself. That would be a little bit like, so why are you talking about this? I don't know anything about boxing, so I'm not going to encourage you to do it, but you could. I mean, it's fun probably, and maybe you can exercise or whatnot, but it's just not something that I know about. So knowing about things firstly and then talking about them and being someone who implements those issues. Now, if you work in a community, in an Islamic youth group, student group, etc., and you have knowledge about something specifically and you want to talk about that, for example, let's say fasting extra days, let's say Monday, Thursday, or fasting the white days, which is the 3 days in the middle of the month. It is perhaps that you're struggling with that you're not very good at that yet, but you know that it's part of Islam and you want to remind people of it. And maybe this is a topic of your halaqah or something. In this case, you can bring it up and you can say, in Islam we have this and this and we're encouraged to do this and this. You could leave it at that because you're sitting in a halaqah anyway, or if somebody asked you about some good worship to do, you can mention it as an example. But you can also be authentic if you wish to grow your relationship with the person and the trust with the person by actually saying, this is something that I do struggle with myself, this is something that I'm not good at yet, this is something that I am also myself working on. In that case, it is sort of you build trust with the person because you're an authentic Muslim that they meet, and so it is more valuable for you to practice what you preach, as they say in English, you practice what you preach. So I think that is very important when you do dawah. So yeah, thank you for being on this dawah journey with me. I think next time I'm just gonna pick this spot and do a video because it's more easy rather than walking. However, I hope you enjoyed that too. If you want to check out those beautiful places that I took you on in these couple of videos, then it's been the area around Gellert Hill. It's super accessible from the main city, so if you like live on the Pesh side or whatever, like in the middle of the city, you can still easily take a tram or a bus and go to Gellert Hill, and it's really very peaceful, especially the streets around the hill, not like the main parks, because obviously there's a lot of people and it's very busy. So if you want a more quiet place, you can go in the streets around those places. And yeah, I would encourage you to go out in nature, and I would encourage you to do that because I do it myself. So I think it's very helpful to clear your mind, connect with Allah, connect with nature, ponder upon creation, ponder upon what we have to do in this world. And maybe just the final thing is, don't feel super pressured. This is just a couple of advice regarding dawah. There's so many more people to talk about that, so let me be authentic. I am not a scholar, but I'm a student of Islam, and I work in the Muslim community. I have a lot of experience in these types of things, but I'm not a scholar. So if you want to know more about dawah, look up the specific people, sheikhs, imams, people who are talking about these things, who have more practice. People who have practice, you can listen to us and our experiences, and it's very interesting. or practical stories, but also learn from the scholars and from an Islamic perspective what are the exact things that Allah is asking you, etc. So yeah, thank you for being with me, and I wish you all the best with your dawah journey, inshallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.